The enormous privilege and the absolute pleasure of representing the people of Australia in Port Moresby at what were quite spectacular celebrations to mark the 50th anniversary of Papua New Guinea independence. I'm delighted to be able to return that hospitality and welcome my friend, Prime Minister Marape, back to Australia once again. We both enjoyed the football game last night, the NRL Grand Final, and congratulations to the Brisbane Broncos. Last month we commemorated a historic anniversary and we celebrated our shared past. Today, with the signing of the Pukpuk Treaty, the Papua New Guinea Australia Mutual Defence Treaty, we commit ourselves to securing and shaping our future together. 50 years ago, Prime Minister Gough Whitlam hailed Sir Michael Samare's vision for independence as, to quote him, an idea whose time had come. When Prime Minister Marape first came to me with his proposal for this treaty, I knew that this was an idea whose time had come. This treaty elevates the relationship between our two nations to the status of an alliance. It is Australia's first new alliance in more than 70 years, and only the third in our history, along with our alliances with the United States of America and New Zealand. I say on behalf of the government and the people of Australia, we consider it a great honour that our nearest neighbour is our newest ally. This treaty contains a mutual defence obligation similar to Australia's ANZUS treaty commitments, where we declare that in the event of an armed attack on either of our countries, we would both act to meet the common danger. Both our nations have also agreed not to undertake any activities or enter into any agreements that would compromise the implementation of this treaty. The treaty also reaffirms both countries' absolute respect for our neighbours' sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity. Our mutual defence treaty builds on 50 years of cooperation and friendship between our nations. This alliance of equals reflects our common commitment to a more secure and stable region. Above all, it is founded on the friendship between our peoples. I was honoured greatly to be the first foreign leader to speak to the PNG Parliament and to return that honour by making sure that Prime Minister Marape was the first Pacific leader to address the Australian Parliament. Our friendship is strong. Prime Minister Marape and I have signed this treaty, but it is our citizens who will make these words a bond. Prime Minister Marape, when we stood together in Port Moresby last month, you said this treaty was about securing not just Australia, not just Papua New Guinea, but to quote your words then, our space in the world map, our space in the Pacific. As you said, others will go where they have to go, but at the end of the day, in this part of the world, it is us that remain here. Today is about the future our nations will shape here, as neighbours, as equals, as mates, and now as allies. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister Albanese. I want to say it's a privilege to be here on Australia's Labour Day, Australian Labour's Day, and I want to apologise to causing yourself and every Australian who are here in the media and those who work here in Canberra in Prime Minister's office for you to come out of your barbecues and your Australian Day events, especially post-NRL. For the rugby league fans, I just want to sincerely apologise. But what a day to sign this historic moment. A day in which it commemorates Labour and the Labour's cause in the construct of Australia. Part of the construct shaped the construct of my country to what it is today. And I want to say thank you very much, Prime Minister Albanese, my brother, my friend. You accepted the proposal from our government to enter into this treaty. It is landmark for our two nations. This treaty was not conceived out of geopolitics or any other reason, but out of geography, history, and the enduring reality of our shared neighborhood. It is about one bigger fence that secures two houses that has its own yard space. It is in this construct that we're going about in signing this treaty. As it was in the past, there will be tomorrows coming upon us. The past lived the space. We are living our present. It is about seeing what happens into the future and constructing an agreement, an alliance, a treaty that shapes and protects and shields that future for those who will call themselves Papua New Guineans and Australians. As I said in my address to your Parliament, and thank you for giving me this extraordinary privilege of my life, I said since time immemorial we coexisted. Before there was a country or a continental island called Australia as it is today, or an island called New Guinea or Papua New Guinea as it is today in as far as country is concerned, there was a continental shelf called the Sahul. In this shelf we coexisted. We belong to a space in the world that the ancient people existed here. And today, at present, we exist. And into time, into the future, our existence will still remain if Jesus doesn't come back at the earliest. Papua New Guinea was birthed from the wombs of Australia, as I addressed the independent occasion not too a while ago, when I want to thank the entire Australian leadership. The only person missing was maybe Foreign Minister Penny Wong, because someone's got to be at the house, keeping the house warm. But nonetheless, the entire Canberra was relocated to Waigani as you join us in our 50th anniversary of continued democracy and celebration of our country. I want to say this treaty is just the beginning of the next phase in our two nations relationship. An umbrella cooperation that gives shade to our partnership. Defense is the core in this conversation, but deep inside it entails police, people-to-people engagements, and as we journey into the future, the umbrella gives shade to all engagements. More importantly, people-to-people, business-to-business, and of course, government-to-government that has existed for the last 50 years and going forward. In 2019, I had the distinguished pleasure of signing the Comprehensive Strategic Economic Partnership that elevated our two nations' relationship from what it was before then to a nation equal in value in as far as trade and government relationship is concerned. Today we have witnessed the historic signing on PNG Australia Mutual Security Treaty, labeled Pukpuk. And I want to say this one will secure us. Our society prospers, as the Greeks say, when old men plant trees whose shade they shall never sit under. God willing, 50 years from today, me and Albanese lives on, my brother Anthony. But we, by the fact that our biological clock is ticking, there's a time in which we will be in demise. But our children will live on. The children of PNG and Australia will live on. Some things that we can never change is history and geography. This is the part of the world where we will be living, our children will be living. And so it is in this context that for Papua New Guinea, we made a strategic call, a conscious choice, that Australia will be our security partner of choice. And that choice, for the life in me, I will never live to regret this choice I made. It's nothing to do with rugby league, nothing to do with any other matters that hangs in the public space, whether geopolitics, etc. Purely in the heart and soul of this, PNG, Australia's coexistence in this part of the world going forward into the future. And I want to say in closing, in my traditional, in the holy world that I come from in Papua New Guinea, Melanesia, in the fireplace, it is no strangers that sit in the fireplace all the time. Once in a while, strangers will come into your house to sit in the fireplace. But always, all the time, it is those who are in your neighborhood, those you share a relationship with, who will always be in your fireplace. This is a fireplace conversation between PNG and Australia. We are forever stuck in this part of earth. Going into the future, it is important we engage in this. And I want to say thank you to Australia for accepting our proposal. To all Papua New Guineans and to Australians, Australia never imposed this on us. A proposal we put to them, Australia accepted, and has brought us to this venture in our nation's relationship right after stepping out of our 50th anniversary. We thought this is the first reset activities we do, preserving our sovereignty but securing our space as we coexist going into the future. Thank you very much, Prime Minister.
Thank you, Prime Minister.